ladies and gentlemen, we here at Beef Sticks Podcast would like to take this time to remember the late, great Bobby the Brain Heenan, who passed away earlier this week, Sunday afternoon. Well, folks, if you hadn't already heard, I would guess you assume from that intro, we lost one of the best, and everybody says that when somebody dies. They always say, oh, we lost one of the best. He was the greatest. Oh, this, that, and the other thing. We seen it when Warrior died, and we knew Warrior was kind of a piece of shit jackass, but everybody had nothing but good things to say about him. But truly, Bobby the Brain was. He was something else as a performer. Not even just in pro wrestling, as a performer.
Oh, yeah.
I know we want to take some time, share some memories, share some favorite things. I'm probably going to ramble for a long time. I don't know how much Josh is going to talk about it. Hey, Josh or Paystee, you're a WWF guy, WWE guy, so a lot of your childhood memories, he has to be the voice of.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess you grew up more in the Attitude Era, but you watched all the old stuff.
Not all of it, no, and that's probably why I will be sort of quiet on the topic. I have a lot of love and respect for the guy. I understand that. Wrestling probably wouldn't be half of what it is today in the characters without him. And
yeah.
I don't know. I'm definitely going to be one of those bandwagon people who in a couple weeks will be able to tell you every single thing about his life. But that's just out of love for the company. That's out of love for the man and respect for the man. I maybe didn't watch a lot of the classic stuff, but man, he played such a pivotal part. And even in the start of the Attitude Era, the first episodes of Raw, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to get into the arena. They won't let him into the arena. That's probably one of my favorite Bobby the Brain Heenan moments.
I love that.
That's so good.
I love that. And folks, just kind of bear with me. I'm dealing with some medical problems still, believe it or not. So I kind of got a heating pad on right now, and I'm probably gonna get up and go, and so I might not be as good as I can be. This is gonna be the first time I'm drinking in over a week, so bear with me there also. But I figured if I'm gonna be fucking miserable, I wasn't able to drink on the 25th episode. It's our half a year, half anniversary. I said, you know what? I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna drink even if I pay for it tonight. I'm drinking, so fuck it. That I'm gonna say first of all. So I want to get into going over Bobby the Brain Heenan. Paystee, feel free to try to move me along if I get rambling, because this is gonna take up a good chunk probably.
I got you.
But we don't have a ton of news to go over or anything else, so. He went by many names. You could call him the Brilliant One. That was his first moniker back in the AWA. You could just call him the Manager, because he almost was. I mean, in any show you were at, he was on. He was coming out with multiple different people in multiple different matches. The Weasel, of course, he was the Weasel.
The Wheeze.
But he is the Brain. When you say the Brain, unless you're a very young 90s kid and you may think of the little lab rat that tried to take over the world, most pro wrestling fans are going to think of Bobby Heenan. Longtime Beef Sticks fans will remember that we did our top 8 greatest announcers of all time, and we not only put Bobby as our #1 pick for greatest announcers of all time, but at that time, I went back and checked. At that time, we even professed that he was our pick as the greatest manager of all time.
Mm.
This guy went from wrestling fan to wrestler to manager to announcer and performer. He was the literal jack of all trades, but they always say jack of all trades, but master of none. I'd say Bobby was definitely master of announcer, manager, and performer. So jack of all trade and master of a few of them. Not going to talk a lot about him as a person, other than saying it may surprise some folks that the Brain actually dropped out of school in the 8th grade to support his mother and grandmother. So, depending on, I don't know how schools went back then, but you could say Bobby the Brain never even made it to high school. He just made it to junior high. So I'd say he didn't do too shabby from junior high dropout. I did want to talk about the Heenan family members. Notice I said Heenan family. He was poignant on saying he did not run a stable because stable was for horses. He had a family. And just tons of names. I'm going to go over almost everybody he did, but I'll do it pretty quickly. The Assassins, the Blackjacks, Ken Patera, the Valiant Brothers, Hercules Hernandez, Playboy Buddy Rose, Terry Taylor, some know him as the Red Rooster, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, who was in the first WrestleMania, Big John Studd, the Barbarian, the Islanders, and then he also did Haku, who was in the Islanders as a single wrestler, even the Brooklyn Brawler, who's kind of known as the biggest job guy of all time. So he was with, right there is just a ton of names that I'm sure you remember. There's a ton of Hall of Famers in that list, memorable wrestlers, familiar names to all of you. But that's really just the tip of the iceberg. He also managed some of the literal bests and greats in the industry. Guys like the Brain Busters, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, who were one half of the Four Horsemen. And they literally got their name, the Brain Busters, from their association with Bobby the Brain Heenan. King Kong Bundy, who faced off against Hulk Hogan in the second main event of WrestleMania. Nick Bockwinkel, who was always in the talks of being one of the best world champions around. He not only managed Nick Bockwinkel as a singles wrestler, but also him and Ray Stevens, who before the WWF, they were called one of the best tag teams around. They hold the AWA tag team title multiple times. Harley Race is one of the all-time greats. Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, Andre the Giant, and arguably the best wrestler in the world, Ric Flair. And as well as having a really prominent association with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Now tell me those aren't just a who's who of pro wrestling right there. Oh, yeah. And everybody, even a Ric Flair, was made somewhat better with Heenan's influence. You know, Ric Flair got Bobby the Brain Heenan when Ric Flair first came into WWF, and he was coming in as the NWA guy. And he brought the old, the big gold belt. So a lot of people might not have took him seriously because WWF had always trained their guys to look at the NWA as a lesser company. Now, I wanted to talk about, I was sitting here and I'm like, you know, the first 3 WrestleManias, Bobby the Brain had a huge part in the first 3 WrestleManias. And that alone just shows you how important Heenan is, because that is the biggest event of WWF. So I went back, I went to Wikipedia to get a list of some of them so I didn't miss them. And it blew my mind actually how many manias in a row Bobby was a part of, and a big part of most of them. WrestleMania 1, the very first one, he managed Big John Studd in the $15,000 body slam challenge. Who can body slam Big John Studd? Nobody. I'll put up $15,000. Well, Andre the Giant came down, body slammed him, took the duffel bag of money and started throwing it in the crowd. And anybody who's seen it will remember the Brain just coming up, weaseling right behind Andre, grabbing that bag and just dipping out of the ring. I mean, that's in a lot of WrestleMania moments, highlights.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first WrestleMania. WrestleMania 2, he was with King Kong Bundy in the main event against Hulk Hogan. WrestleMania 3, he was in 3 separate matches. He managed Hercules Hernandez versus Billy Jack Haynes, the King Harley Race versus Junkyard Dog, and arguably the biggest event in pro wrestling history, Bobby the Brain Heenan rode down with Andre the Giant in that little mobile ring to face Hulk Hogan and left the ring with Andre the Giant that night. That's huge. And that was kind of where just off the bat, like, oh man, that alone shows how important he is that they keep him there. But then I was like, well, you know, I know he was in 4. Let's go down the line. So let's keep going. Bless you, Paystee.
Thank you.
WrestleMania 4, he was with Rick Rude in the tournament for the World Heavyweight Champion, which for the World Heavyweight Championship, I should say, which was won by Savage. And then he actually wrestled in a match, teaming with the Islanders to face the British Bulldogs and Coco Beware, which, by the way, Heenan pinned Ware for the victory in that match. Heenan has a victory at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 5, he was involved in. Yeah, he should have one. You know, if Michael Cole has one, Jim Ross doesn't. Jerry Lawler doesn't even have a win at WrestleMania.
Oh.
WrestleMania 4 or 5. 4 matches he was involved in. He was with King Haku versus Hercules Hernandez. He was with the Brainbusters versus Strikeforce. He was against. He was with Andre against Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yes.
And Rick Rude winning the IC titles from the Ultimate Warrior, which, by the way, Bobby helped him win by holding the Ultimate Warrior's leg while the Warrior was going up for a slam, and Rude fell down on top of him, and Heenan held his foot down. And another classic moment that's on a lot of WrestleMania moment, top 10, top 25 moments. So now we're up to WrestleMania 5. Then we go to WrestleMania. No, wait a second. That's not all. He also had his own match against the Red Rooster. So right there, he had another match. He lost that match, but he had that. Also, WrestleMania 6, 3 matches with Haku and Andre as the Colossal Connection, with the Barbarian, and then with Rick Rude. WrestleMania 7 with Haku and the Barbarian, and with Mr. Perfect. By WrestleMania 8 and 9, he was doing full-time commentary and was a vital part of the show. So to kind of put this in perspective, folks, Heenan and Hulk Hogan are the only 2 on-air personalities in all of the first 9 WrestleManias. And nobody surpassed that because both Heenan and Hulk Hogan left before WrestleMania 10 to pursue acting, and then they both ended up in WCW. So that's just.
Yeah.
I mean, that right there is super.
It's a.
That's a feat that. It's a feat that you wouldn't. Unprecedented, I guess, would be the word. You know. During this time, don't forget, he also hosted Primetime Wrestling with Gorilla Monsoon, and he had his own half-hour show on the USA Network, the Bobby Heenan Show. They gave him his own show, folks. That's how entertaining this guy was. So, you talked about one of your favorite moments being him trying to get into Monday Night Raw, which I love. He dressed up as a woman. He dressed up as a rabbi at one point. He was just going through different disguises trying to get in.
Kind of like Dolph Ziggler now, huh?
Yeah, right? Dolph Ziggler stealing Bobby's gimmick. I'll never forget the Weasel Suit matches. I know he had one with Greg Gagne in AWA, which was the first Weasel Suit match, and one with the Ultimate Warrior in the WWF. For those of you who don't know, a Weasel Suit match is the winner of the match gets to put a Weasel Suit on the loser. And Bobby just over-exaggerated, because he'd get knocked out, and then they'd put the suit on him, and when he woke up, just over-exaggerated. And he's stumbling around, and he's trying to flail and get it off. Yeah, it has mittens for hands, and he can't get the zipper, and he's just going crazy.
It's just a fucking costume.
Actually, I think that's right. But he hated being the Weasel so much. Kayfabe. Right. It's like the worst move you could put on him. It's like, and this is the best time, I think, just to talk about his selling. I mean, this guy made Dolph Ziggler or Shawn Michaels look like they didn't know how to sell. This guy would just fly when you punched him. He would slam against the ring. He would flop over the ropes. I mean, anybody who attacked him. God, who said it? There's a quote about Bobby the Brain Heenan, and I can't remember who said it now, but it goes like, Bobby Heenan managed like a wrestler and wrestled like a manager. And that's kind of the way he did. I mean, he
true.
managed like a wrestler. He was going to have that wrestler's mind in him. He was always working to better that performer. And in the ring, he just took abuse, which is what a good manager should do in the ring. A good heel manager should just take abuse. I remember WrestleMania 9, which was, I believe, at Caesar's Palace, which was just a horrible WrestleMania. But Bobby the Brain Heenan came in. Everybody's like coming in on horses and into grandeur, and they all have these elaborate Caesar robes and stuff. And Heenan comes in on camelback riding backwards. As I mentioned before, when he brought in the real champion, Ric Flair, and they brought with them the NWA big gold belt, you know, which later on, due to lawsuit by NWA, they had to use an old tag team belt and blur it out or censor it. But yeah, he brought in Ric Flair, and they had the whole who was the real champion. Everybody remembers the barbershop segment where Shawn Michaels turned on Marty Jannetty. Not only is that a great moment, my favorite part from that is Shawn Michaels super kicks Jannetty after he says, "No, we're good, we're good." And then he throws Jannetty through the barbershop window. And here's Bobby the Brain Heenan. "Look at that coward Jannetty. He tried to escape by jumping through the window." I mean, that right there is just that's Bobby right there. He took something as obvious as that and turned it around on the face to give you sympathy for the heel. The Bobby the Brain Heenan show, I couldn't find a clip of this, so I don't have the exact wording. I looked all over YouTube. If anybody listening can find a clip of this, put it on our Facebook page or put it in the comments. But on the Bobby the Heenan show, he had like I think it was an old showgirl or something. It was a gal past her prime. She was a showgirl, and she had a boa around her, and she had a sequined dress. And Bobby goes, "Hey, I love those feathers. Is that a boa?" And she says, "Well, it was, but it's a little old and ratty now." And just a split second, without even thinking, his rapid fire wit, he goes, "Oh, that's fine. So are you, little ratty and old." And you can tell she wasn't expecting it. She's just like, "Well, what?" Like she didn't know what to make of it.
I want to say you talked about that when we were doing the that list too.
I very well might have, because I always love that. I just love it.
That's great.
And then, of course, there's the 92 Royal Rumble, which I think is the very best Royal Rumble. Not the whole pay-per-view, just the Rumble itself. But I put this up there for anybody who's getting into commentating, for any of the commentators out there now. Watch this, because his commentary through this helps make it one of the best Rumbles ever. Few things I love is when Roddy Piper. See, the whole story is Ric Flair is Bobby's managing Ric Flair, and this was the very first Rumble ever for the World Heavyweight Championship, which it was for a long time, also until just a couple of years ago when they did that. So Bobby wants Flair to win. Well, Flair draws number 3, and in the history of the Royal Rumble, nobody has won who's drawn 5 or less. And he was just freaking out every time anything happened. Going over the Piper comes in, and it's Jake the Snake, Piper, and Flair. And Jake the Snake is about to hit a DDT on Flair. And Piper saves him. Piper hits Jake the Snake. And Bobby says, "Never thought I'd say thank you, Piper. It's a kilt. It's not a skirt. It's a kilt." Then immediately after that, Flair puts the figure 4 on Roberts. And Piper kicks Flair to break the figure 4, and the Brain yells, "What are you doing? It's a skirt. It's not a kilt. It's a skirt." Just moments after he just said it's a kilt, not a skirt. And actually, that's the same one where I think before the event, Jack Tunney comes out to like hold up the championship or say something, and Bobby the Brain goes, "Yeah, Jack Tunney," because he was the president of WWF at the time. Yeah, he's the best president since Noriega.
Yeah, I remember when you came over. You came over to my house in Redwood one time, and you sat down. We sat down. We were just bullshitting, and somehow like that episode of Royal Rumble got put on. It was so good.
It was. It's one that I can go back and watch constantly. In fact, just recently, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I rewatched it because it is just Just a great one. And because I want to remember, yeah, he has another good one about the Barbarian. The Barbarian's coming down. His number comes up, and Monsoon says, "Oh yeah, Barbarian doesn't like Flair much either." Bobby says, "I managed him, and he barely liked me. Why do you think they call him the Barbarian? He isn't a hairdresser on his days off." I don't know. I just did. I'm going to talk about his time in WCW real quick, and then I'm going to kind of let it go. I was able to keep myself on track and go here. It's been well documented from Bobby and from everybody else who worked with him. He did not really enjoy his time in WCW, which is a shame because his time in WCW is probably my favorite era of WCW and one of my favorite eras of pro wrestling. And and his voice was great. He was there when Hogan turned. He was there through it all. I'm just gonna drop a couple things that he doesn't have as many big memories there, big memorable things, but the infamous time that he dropped the F-bomb when Brian Pillman was in a match, it's against Eddie Guerrero, rest in peace. All three of them. Oh God, that's so sad. Three great talents, but Brian Pillman, Eddie Guerrero's on the top rope, and Brian Pillman grabs Bobby Heenan, who was at the announce desk, and uses him as a human shield in front of Eddie. And he was improvising. This wasn't a skit. This wasn't scheduled to happen or nothing. And Brain just says, "What the fuck are you doing?" Just pissed. Live on TV, because back then Nitro was live. I think it was the first F-bomb drop. It wasn't the first F-bomb dropped in pro wrestling, but probably the first unedited one. The time that the NWO took over Nitro, and I think this happened in Nitro right before Starrcade 97, because Starrcade 97 had Sting versus Hogan, but then it also had an undercard Eric Bischoff versus Larry Zbyszko for the rights to Nitro. If if Zbyszko won, WCW kept Nitro. If Bischoff won, NWO got Nitro. And the day, the Nitro before that, they went through and they changed WCW, and they took WCW off everything and put NWO Nitro, NWO, and they kicked out the announcers, and they put on Eric Bischoff, Rick Rude, and Kevin Nash as the announcers. And then Bobby comes up partway through, and he's just like, "Mr. Bischoff, sir, I respect you a great deal, and I've always thought that you're just a great, intelligent man, and I would really love to be a part of your NWO team." Just groveling and kissing ass. And he got on the announce team. And then they ended up putting Tenay, and they forced Tenay to go in there. And the whole time Tenay would say something like, "Well, the total package Lex Luger is coming out," and Bobby would be like, "They told you Buff Bagwell's the total package. Listen to them." Or when one NWO guy was coming out, and Tenay's like, "Well, he has a good chance of winning this." And Bobby would be like, "They told you he is going to win it. Get it right, Mike. Come on. They are going to win it." Just perfect heel announcer. He flipped just like that. He had no loyalty. Whoever was in charge, that's who he was going with. Another really memorable moment for me, which is kind of a sad point in Bobby's career, but I think it's the first Hog Wild pay-per-view. Bobby gets like totally drunk. Like, I think he was drunk when it started, and then he gets like bad drunk about halfway through. And about the first half is pretty funny because you can just tell he's drunk. And then the second half is kind of like, "Okay, Bobby, just leave." But that had to do with a lot of the backstage stuff and him not being happy. But it was hilarious, memorable, and Bobby's Hall of Fame speech, I have to say, is one of my favorites. One of the most heartfelt Hall of Fame speeches, except for maybe Kurt Angle's. I mean, that one just touched me right here.
Oh yeah, so sweet.
And then how he
full of great memories.
And he was making jokes throughout the whole thing. And this is after he had had cancer. He could barely talk. I think this was the first time he publicly spoke, in fact, since he had throat cancer and all the chemo and everything. And at the very end, he ended with, he just wished that Monsoon could have been there with him. And he said it with his eyes tearing up. And Gorilla Monsoon had just passed away earlier that year. So, Bobby, he fought hard because he had that throat cancer for a long, long time. I think he got diagnosed in, I want to say 2002, maybe. And so, I mean, what? It's 2017 now. He fought back. He had multiple chemo. He ended up having to get his jaw taken out, and they replaced it with some fake stuff. And it's like, by the end, he looked like Skeletor, and he sounded like that old pervert on Family Guy with a sore throat. But he was still the Brain. He would do signings.
His name is
at
Herbert
like
the Pervert.
WrestleCons. Herbert, there you go. He'd do signings at WrestleCons, and he'd talk and stuff, and it was like he was always joking, he was always laughing and smiling, and it's just like, I mean, the man, yeah, he's an inspiration as a performer. This is a guy, I think, if he wasn't in the pro wrestling business, he would have been in entertainment one way or the other, whether it was an actor or a writer or a stand-up comedian. You could have put him on SNL. I think he would have fit right in SNL, especially back in the 70s, 80s there. You could have put him in a time slot against Johnny Carson, against Dave Letterman, against Bob Hope, and I would have watched him. I mean, he is a performer. He was a performer. He was one of the best performers ever, wrestling or not. So that's my rant.
Well, it's definitely. I was very heartbroken when I saw that he had passed away. I mean, we saw him.
I was too, especially because I hadn't.
Just at the Hall of Fame, you know what I mean? And it was just then.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard about him like having any rough times. In fact, as of now, I haven't read what he died of. I'm assuming it has to do with his throat cancer, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
It's those butterflies, yo.
Fuck, tell me about that. They're probably in my intestines right now. Probably what the fuck's going on with me, ready to die. Bobby the Brain, the Weasel. Man, we love you. We love you. And somebody put a thing on Facebook I thought was hilarious. It was a bunch of the old legends that have died, especially more recently, and they're all up there in heaven or whatever, and they're up in the background, and in the foreground it's Heenan and Monsoon at an announcer's desk, and they got a little word bubble, and Heenan's, "Oh, come on, the Warriors here? Satan, save me a seat, I'm coming." It's just like, I don't know who did that, but that is totally Bobby. I mean, you could just see that. Right. It's totally Bobby.
Oh, that's great.
That is great. They can't all last forever.
Nope. It's just, I don't know. It's getting to a point in life where it's starting to get nerve-wracking for me, you know? Because just like 12 years ago, it was like all these old people are dying and I don't really know who they are. And now it gets closer and closer all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you start knowing more and more of them and having more memories connected to them.
Yeah.
Which means it isn't going to be too long before people that you knew are going to be talking about, God, I remember that old Paystee Whyt.
Nobody's going to remember Paystee Whyt. As long as they remember Hollow Blaze
going to live on
and Cloud Style Broadcasting, I will be happy.
Your legacy is complete.
I'm ready to go. All right. Chester Bennington style. Who's that guy?
Chester, what the fuck? So do we want to talk about that survey?
Yeah, we want to talk about that survey, but maybe we should knock the fuck out of the news quickly. Quickly news.
Let's do that. There's not a whole lot here to knock up, so take it away, baby. Take it away, baby.
Take it away, baby. WWE is bastardizing yet another classic pro wrestling idea in the form of WCW's Starrcade. Not only are they having Jim Crockett Promotion and WCW's biggest show on just a regular house show, but they're not doing the only thing fans want them to, which of course is War Games. And they misspelled both a legend's name in Ricky Steamboat. That's great. And the current superstar's name. This one was my favorite. Booby Rude. Booby Rude. It should have been his name.
I want to see him debut that gimmick. Booby Rude.
It's just be a mixture of Bobby Roode and Val Venus. He'll come out in a robe with a towel.
So, I do have to say before we go on with this story, whatever. I mean, WWE is going to do whatever they want to do. But outside of them taking the old Starrcade or whatnot, or doing whatever they are, what caught me here is that Booby Rude, who was formerly Bobby Roode, is taking on Dolph Ziggler in this match. Now, this is a house show. This isn't on TV. This isn't on a pay-per-view, so it might mean nothing. But that got me thinking, Bobby Roode's taking on Dolph Ziggler. Is like, well, Dolph Ziggler isn't doing anything right now, and Bobby Roode's been off TV for a while. That makes sense. And then I said, you know what? Dolph Ziggler's gimmick is that he's talking about how all these people's entrance gimmicks are what's getting them over, and he's a great wrestler. Do you think this whole thing with Dolph Ziggler stealing his gimmicks away to get him and Bobby Roode in a deal together? You think that might be his next?
That'd be good.
I think they'd have great matches.
They would. Dolph Ziggler's still gonna come out the same way Dolph Ziggler comes out every time Dolph Ziggler comes out.
Bobby Roode's supposed to, yeah, but and Dolph Ziggler is gonna be at the losing end of this, you would hope, but he should. Yeah. He's an established talent that can be putting over the new guy.
Dude, you know what I'm looking forward to? Great. I'm looking forward to when WWE is in Detroit next, and Punk's music comes on, or Chicago, and Punk's music comes on, and here comes Dolph as CM Punk.
They were chanting great. CM Punk. They wanted that gimmick. Speaking of them going to Detroit, they announced that they're going to be in Detroit. I think Hell in a Cell's in Detroit or something. And no, yeah, it might be. I don't know. Anyways, Mitchell's like, Detroit? Isn't that one of the? He didn't say shittiest, but he's like, isn't that one of the worst cities in the United States? And I was like, yes, son, it is. And he was like, why are they going there? I don't know.
As long as they don't drink the water, they'll be okay.
Right. I want to see Dolph Ziggler come out to Bobby Roode's entrance, spoofing him. That'd be his third entrance. He usually does 3. So he usually does a current, a legend, and a female, although he switched it up on this last episode. But, he can do 2 other entrances, and then he does the Bobby Roode one, and he comes out. And then right behind him is Bobby Roode in his robe and everything. And then Dolph Ziggler turns around and I'd love to see it. I think it'd be a good first feud on the main roster. You don't need to put Bobby Roode in the main event feud.
Right. He's fresh to the show yet. Give him time to build up. Don't Roman Reigns him. I mean, you can't Roman Reigns him because you didn't build him from scratch. But
right.
Yeah.
But I thought that just kind of stuck out to me. Like I said, it's a house show. It might mean nothing, but it might mean something.
I just read so many rumors that Dolph was gonna have a change to his character, and he was gonna be getting a push that he's always deserved, and I'm just not seeing it.
How many times have we heard that rumor though?
I know, but I thought for sure this time. Oh God! And when we talk about rumors, wait till we get to that survey later, folks. Holy shit! Is that got some heavy stuff? Woo! There's a lot of shit that I'm like, yeah, fuck you, I don't care about that. But they only give me $10, man. Really they only give me $10.
So let's go on with the story. Go ahead, Paystee. What else do we got to say?
With the news of the old Starrcade name being used, brings up thoughts of the creator Dusty Rhodes. Of course. Cody Rhodes issued a suggestion in the form of a tweet to one of the heads of the WWE creative. Dear at PS Michael Hayes 1, if you're afraid the event won't sell because of the holiday and want one of my dad's events, at least book Goldie. Signed, Cody. Hayes replied with, so Cody, you're right. We should have Goldie on the show. By the way, what are you doing tonight? Want to team up with that night? Blah, 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 blah. Want to team up with your brother? That'd be cool. I mean, the invite's been offered, but he's not going to do it.
And the invite was offered over a tweet by one guy in creative. I honestly don't think Vince. Well,
they
we'll
would.
Keep going.
They'd take him back in a second just to jab it.
Well, but keep going because
right.
That's where I don't know that they'd buy it. Up to now, maybe.
Goldust seems to like the idea, and he suggested that the Hardys as potential opponents. Dustin Rhodes at Goldust. Starcade? Dustin and at Cody Rhodes team together versus at Jeff Hardy Brand and at Matt Hardy Brand. Matt was never one to leave a match opportunity or tweet opportunity sitting on the table. Responded with 2 tweets. Sign us up. Make it happen, Booker man. I'd love for Cody to bring at Matt Jackson 13 and at Nick Jackson YB the Young Bucks with him. I'll bring Rebby Hardy, King Maxwell, and Senior Benjamin with me. #Starcade. It's got the attention of the Bucks, who were very busy working with NJPW, Ring of Honor, and the other indies, who took to Twitter to simply reply, "Okay, we now have the night off."
So they're trying to book this whole elaborate deal with the Bucks and getting King Maxwell and Senior Benjamin and Rebby Hardy. That's not happening.
I don't know, man. The Hardy Boys, I mean, look who's going to be there already. You got the Midnight Express. Right? I think we're going to see something. Probably not, but that'd be great.
Probably not, but it's cool that they're at least all communicating with each other and have at least can have fun.
Yeah.
Serious or not serious, they're all having fun together. Even Michael Hayes, was in. He's like, hey man,
come on
he's
back.
the one that put out the invite. Yeah, come on over for one show. With it not being on TV, Ring of Honor probably wouldn't really have any big problems with it, because I know Cody Rhodes has they could still, but Cody Rhodes has a pretty open contract, similar to the Young Bucks, where he can wrestle for other promotions, but he can't do TV for other promotions, and he can't do certain big events for other promotions. So this isn't a TV show. This is a house show, which we're all hoping is recorded and put on the network at some point. But
I'm pretty sure it's going to be on the network. It better be on the network. If you're gonna steal Starcade, so. You'd think. We'll see.
But and then they try to get you. They try to tease you because they were talking about how there's going to be 2 steel cages, and it's like, yeah, but you're not doing war games. You just have 2 different cage matches. Come on now, come on. You can't play with us. You can't fool us.
My big question is, why are they stealing Starcade when their show on YouTube has that wrestling show that they've been building up for the 2 seasons now? And why not just use that? Have Chet Cheddarfield make it something your own instead of just snagging Starcade. Unless it's going to have something to do with Starcade. But I don't.
That same weekend, that same exact weekend, there is a show in the area, one of the largest independent shows, WrestleCade, that has tons of legends and tons of that are not signed to WWE. So there's a good chance they're literally just doing this to try to draw people away from WrestleCade. I mean, come on, they're literally using the word "cade,"
right?
Starcade.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are they bringing out that one? Well, yeah, and WWE's petty enough to do it. They've done a lot to promote indie promotions, but they're still pretty petty also. So I don't know that has anything to do with it. But like you said, why are they bringing back Starcade just for this or whatever? Well, it is, pointing that there's a WrestleCade going on.
Yeah, that sounds more
like Vince. So as soon as you throw your name around, yeah, sad but true.
And that's why it's not a pay-per-view, because it's just an afterthought to put an end to this other thing.
Right? Somebody just happened to mention to Vince, hey, one of our old friends is going to be at that WrestleCade event. I'm going to go over there and see him. WrestleCade! What you talking about? WrestleCade!
I've heard Cade before. Where have I heard that?
Booby Rude on there. I gotta make a run real quick. I will be right back.
He's got the runs. He's got to run. He's got the runs. So, folks, Jim Cornette is no longer with GFW, TNA, Impact, WTF. Who knows what the fuck we're talking about anymore? After debuting on August 17th at Destination X and firing Bruce Pritchard, he announced that he had parted ways with the company only a month and 1 day later on September 18th. One leaves and one comes in. Johnny Mundo has signed a deal with Impact Wrestling, and he will be wrestling under the name Johnny Impact. Yes. This is a working agreement with Triple H, so he will still compete in the promotion as well as Lucha Underground, and that makes me happy because that is what I was worried about. Yes. I suppose now is as good a time as any to bring up our sponsors, Monster Wear Clothing. More than just clothes? Yes. The best priced and quality vinyl decals, customized to your specific tastes. He'll do anything. He'll make you any decal. You want a Metallica decal, but you don't want to pay them $20 for it? He'll make it. He's got it. He's got goods. And then I also want to give a good shout out to the 7th almost annual Hollow Blaze happening December 16th at Opinion Brewing Company. 14 acts, 8 hours of music, games, prizes, live painting, food trucks, and so much more. The 7th almost annual Hollow Blaze is the place to be. Hello, Shitty McGoober.
Yes, it is. Yes, I am. Oh.
Are you getting good enough to where you don't even have to sit on the toilet anymore? You can just like shoot it across the room?
I'm getting pretty good at that. I'm getting a little splatter. I'm working on that, though. This is my drink for the night. This is probably my favorite Shell's beer, and Shell's is probably my favorite local brewing company, so I thought half year, half anniversary, might as well bust out the big good ones. I've had it on the show before, but I figured if I'm going to drink while I'm miserable, might as well be one of the most delicious beers around.
Yes,
Shell's
indeed.
Fire Brick. Nice, dark, not heavy, just delicious.
It is a classic.
Beer.
I think that is one of the first, if not the first, Shells I had. Delicious beer. God, I want one.
Shell's Brewery, New Ulm, Minnesota.
Yes.
All right, where are we at now?
We are done with the news, sir. I finished it out for you and hit the sponsors.
You're the man.
I am, sometimes. Sometimes I put on a dress and then you don't know what I am.
That being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notifications bell so you can stay up to date with us. If you're listening on Spreaker, make sure that you subscribe to us, follow us. You'll get updates every time. Patreon, did you drop the Patreon?
Patreon / Cloud Style. You know we work hard for you guys, and we don't ask for a lot.
Damn but it, Paystee, we just went through this last week.
What?
/ Cloud Style Broadcasting.
/ Fuck. Nobody says / Nobody.
Sorry, I just had to give you shit. I had like 15 minutes already last episode. Oh, god damn. So are we gonna check out that? Do we want to check out the the survey that you enlightened me about?
Yes. I'm actually really glad you were able to just hold on to it and save it, because I definitely think this is something that needs to be like explicitly shared with the people, especially the people who may not have received this survey.
Hey, that was my plan the whole time. It had nothing to do with me being sick, me being lazy, and me not really caring. It was all because I was trying to save it for this great segment. That's the
Yes,
truth.
that is the
So,
truth.
so I got it right here. This is live. This is me doing the survey right now. So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to read it to you. It's a survey put out by WWE Research through WWE. And it went to just a handful or a random selection of WWE Network subscribers or past subscribers. And it says here, as part of a potential premium priced tier, so in other words, more than your $9.99 a month, WWE is considering adding new programming, features, and special perks to the WWE Network. We are interested in your feedback about these ideas. Please let us know what you think by completing the survey below. So I'm going to hit the next button and see what that does. It says, what is your current WWE Network subscription status? And I'm going to say broke. That isn't important anyways, folks. So WWE is considering adding new programming to the network as part of a premium priced tier. Listed below are some potential new programming ideas. Please let us know how interested you are in each of these ideas. Select whether you are extremely interested, very interested, moderately interested, somewhat interested, or not interested at all in each of these ideas. So the first one they have here, house shows. For the first time ever, get a live ringside view of select WWE house shows.
That wouldn't be the first time ever. They've done at least two.
That's what I was just going to say. They've done it in the past, but very rarely, so I don't know if they're planning on maybe doing it like once a month, or if they're just going to continue the trend they're doing now, or what. I don't know. So for me, a lot of stuff happens at house shows. You get some matches that you don't normally get on Raw and SmackDown. A lot of times there's people from Raw or SmackDown in either one. Me personally, I'm moderately interested, I think.
Yeah, that's about what I
don't
think
know that I'd pay extra for this. I don't know that I'd pay extra for it, but I'd probably watch it if they had it.
Yeah.
Other promotions. Historic and new programming from ICW, which is Insane Championship Pro Wrestling, Progress, and both of those, ICW and Progress, are both, not only are they both England wrestling companies, British wrestling companies, what do you call it? British, let's say British. Not only are they both British wrestling companies, they both actually already have a deal with WWE and have been supposed to be on the air for the past year, but Vince keeps pulling the plug at the last moment.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of the UK tournament wrestlers are from either ICW or Progress. I'd say a huge chunk of them. So it has ICW, Progress, New Japan Pro Wrestling, or other regional indie promotions. So for me, I am extremely interested in this.
Yes.
It's not too hard to find most of these promotions nowadays on the internet, but it would be nice to not have to look for them and just have one central location for them. New Japan Pro Wrestling already has its own streaming service. It's I thought it was like $15 a month. I believe last check it was like $7 a month now. I think I was wrong the first time. I think it's always been like 7 or so. I don't see New Japan Pro Wrestling making an agreement with WWE, at least not anytime in the next few years. They're doing great on their own.
If we give the WWE enough of our hard-earned money, it just may happen.
It may. They already got deals with both Ring of Honor and CMLL. So then you get into gray areas there. So I don't see New Japan being something that they would be able to do. I don't even know if it's something that WWE would want to do. Well, let me say, I don't know that it's something Vince would want to do. But I'm going to say extremely interested. I would be willing to pay an extra $5 if one of the extra perks, not just this one, but if one of the extra perks was that I could see ICW, Progress, NJPW, perhaps various other ones. I know WWE already has a working relationship with Evolve Pro Wrestling, Gabe Sapolsky's wrestling organization. So I'm surprised that's not on here. I'm actually very surprised that's not on there because they already do have a contracted working agreement with Evolve. So yeah, that's kind of neat. Audio channel. This one I thought was pretty interesting, to be honest. I will say that the last one I just talked about, the other promotions, that and another question coming through here, I think is the one that most people are talking a lot about, getting some chatter going. And we'll talk about this stuff after I'm done filling it out. Or we can talk about it now. I don't know. Do you want to go over anything with that, Paystee?
Yeah, we could just... about which one are we talking about? That's where I'm at right now.
I guess any of them that we've already done. I'm kind of skipping through it, but I mean, we can talk about it a little bit if we want to.
Well, I'm definitely excited for seeing any other promotions. Yes, as long as we could rest assured knowing that these promotions are getting a portion of that extra $5 a month per se.
I guess also I think if we could be rest assured that WWE isn't going to start giving them notes about what they should be doing or have to do.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's something coming up later on in the thing that's a little bit redeeming as to that thought process.
There is, you're right. So I'll go to the next one. Audio channel. I was pretty interested in this.
Well, we're podcast guys.
That's true. It's a section of WWE Network for listening only that provides audio play-by-play of pay-per-views, music playlists, sports radio, or sports radio style call-in shows, and podcasts. Now, that's what it lists here. I had seen, and it might have been somebody just reading into it that isn't there, but I've seen people say that it also could feature wrestlers doing commentary for old or classic WWE matches, like perhaps Stone Cold coming in and doing commentary on a match that he had with The Rock.
That's actually a little bit later on in the survey.
Oh, is that already coming up? Okay, maybe I shouldn't jump ahead. I haven't done this yet. This is the first time I'm seeing this, folks. So okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself. So I guess for this one, I would say I'd say I'm moderately interested.
You know, I would like it because I have a 45-minute drive one way to work, and I think that would actually be really good.
Right. I wouldn't mind the call-in shows and the podcasts, but I feel like there's already enough wrestling podcasts, and I feel like when you had the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast on the network, you could tell it was very different than Steve's podcast. There were things he did talk about a lot of things you didn't think he would, but he also didn't talk about a lot of things that he probably would have on his, or that he has talked about on his show. And you felt that he was somewhat censored.
To me, though, this whole survey kind of, to me, speaks to me and kind of whispers that Vince may be trying to open doors to all these facets so that he can take on, like, cable television. And eventually the WWE Network will be a very expensive thing. But I think he'll be able to allow each entity their own creative freedom. Within, I guess within restrictions, but at the same point, I don't think they will.
Well, we have to keep in mind that for all we know, Vince McMahon may have never even seen this list. This doesn't necessarily come from Vince. This is just WWE, WWE search. So just like a talent relations thing, going through and asking questions. Yes. Yeah. So there's a good chance Vince hasn't even okayed these questions. Like, this is just another group that's putting out their own thing. They take this data, they run it through one group of guys, and then another, and then it gets to Hunter. And then by then Hunter has one idea that he tells Triple H, hey, people might be interested in seeing Starrcade. Well, we'll do it. We'll be rude. So, I mean, take all this as it is. It's just a survey going around. They put out these surveys multiple times a year, and I mean, I wouldn't expect any major changes happening within the next 6 months to a year. But I'm going to say moderately interested in the audio channel. New reality shows. Reality shows featuring life on the road for WWE superstars. Wasn't that Ride Along?
Yeah.
An insider's view of WWE superstars' intense training and workout. A WWE superstars cribs style show. For anybody who didn't watch MTV back in the 2000s, MTV Cribs was basically just rich people showing you the most ridiculous fucking houses ever.
Yes.
And just reminding you that you'll never have anything half as good as their shed. A WWE style apprentice to win a job at WWE, or WWE Legends House Season 2 Attitude Era. Right there, I'm going to say extremely interested just for the Legends House 2. It doesn't even just have to be the Attitude Era.
I was not very interested in any of what they had to offer there.
So
That's me
I'm going to
personally.
say very interested because I like the Legends House thing. I'm a fan of The Apprentice, but just the Celebrity Apprentice, so I don't know random people doing an apprentice to get a job at WWE. Right. I wouldn't watch that. Cribs I wouldn't watch. I like Ride Along. I like Table for Three. I like the old Legends of Wrestling that they used to do, which was a round table thing. So if they would do things like that, I'd be okay with. So I'm going to say very interested, although I think they're going to take that out of context.
Probably. They really want the cribs. More Total Divas. Exactly. Oh my God.
I know,
and
so many things in there.
So a little sidetrack moment, but was watching Raw, and Raw got over. And at the time, I think I was playing Animation Throwdown. You know how that eats souls? And so, like, the most recent episode of Total Divas comes on and gets over. And then the whole Total Bellas series starts at the first episode. And I got to see John Cena lay out his house rules. The whole exact thing that Miz spoofed. And I gotta say now, after seeing Cena in the show, Miz did a 100% perfect job of playing John Cena. Like, holy shit. Awesome. I thought it was good before, but now that I've actually seen it, yeah.
Maybe I'll have to go on YouTube and find that.
Just watch like the first 2 episodes.
The real Cena one. I'm not gonna watch the first 2 episodes. I just need the clip.
Come on, it's got a great premise. Nikki and Cena both had to have surgery, and so they moved the whole Bella family into their house. And Daniel Bryan's there, and he hates it.
Sounds like a fucking episode of South Park, man. What happens when Cena and Nikki need surgery? Move the whole Bella family into the house. Hilarity ensues when Daniel Bryan won't eat the steak that Cena cooked. What happens when Brie puts her feet on the coffee table? Oh, man.
No, as horrible as it sounds,
the next one is one that got a lot of people.
I may keep watching just for Cena's character.
Horrible.
I can't imagine that he's his character on the show, and then when he's off the show, he's this redwood tree stuck up his ass kind of guy. Like, what the fuck? And then he's in comedy movies and good movies, and like, you gotta feel. I believe he's acting more on the show than he is anywhere else.
Well, probably. That's how reality TV works, I know.
Right. Reality. Air quotes.
It's reality. Okay, this one got a lot of people talking. TV 14 in-ring show. Yes. A new weekly version of ECW.
They shouldn't have said that part.
Wrestling or other edgy new promotion rated TV 14. So first of all, they got a ton of TV stuff already on the network from the Attitude Era and stuff. I can only see WWE doing edgy wrong. I do not want to see them get out of this. They're at a pretty comfortable PG right now, where there's still blood, there's still cussing, there's still violence. There's even woman on man, and it's not going to be long before there's man on woman. So I'd say moderately at best. I do not think WWE can do TV-14 or edgy well at all. I think all it's going to be is poop jokes and dick jokes and boob jokes. That's what I see. I'm scared. It scares me.
I was
Especially
very
when they
excited
say,
for it.
let's reboot ECW again, but this time let's let them blade.
Yeah.
No. We had it in the Attitude Era. It was okay in the Attitude Era, but again, it's looking through rose-colored glasses. When you go back and rewatch it, it's fun to rewatch it because you have that nostalgia. But I'm pretty sure if my son and his friends went back and rewatched it, they would not enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say moderately interested. If they could do it right, I would like to see it. I just
want to see it. If it doesn't stick around, so be it, but I just want to see it. What are you going to do? And are you going to have people from Raw and SmackDown be on this show? Because then I really want to see it. Like a show where they could just cut loose, like Talking Smack, the wrestling promotion.
Yeah, because
Call
you've
it
seen what happened with
Smack.
that, too. If Vince had nothing to do with it, if Vince couldn't touch it, and he couldn't get all of his fucking fart jokes and poop jokes and boob jokes in there, I'd maybe be okay if it was like a no Vince allowed fucking thing. Vince is one of the most immature people you'll ever meet. I mean, I say this and I don't know the guy, but
then you watch Camp
okay?
WWE, where he's like one of the only actual WWE people with their voice in the show.
Yeah, he's definitely a very immature guy. Now, on the subject of Raw, SmackDown, TV-14, edgy, a theory's been going around the internet, which I actually buy. I went back, I rewatched it multiple times. I looked at different stills. So the whole Kevin Owens, Vince McMahon deal, you remember that, right?
Yes, I've heard
Kevin
about
Owens
this
beat
too.
The shit out of Vince. I butted him.
Beat the shit out of him. He hit him, let him get back to his feet, hit him, let him get back to his feet. It was. Look, I watched it a second time because my grandpa came over, and when I came home from work, he was like watching the same newsreel on repeat because he doesn't know how the internet TV works. So I'm like, we're gonna watch Raw and SmackDown. We'll start with SmackDown.
So the theory is, and like I said, I think I buy this. And hear me out. That Vince actually bladed before he came out, and they used the little glue that you do, just was athletes use to just cut it, get it together right away before they can go and get surgery or not, or stitches, I should say, not surgery. But he bladed, did that, put a little makeup on, and went out there because, number one, he immediately starts bleeding as soon as he's headbutted from Owens. That rarely happens, that you get busted open, especially that fast from just a headbutt.
Owens would have been busted open too.
Number two, it has to be and it has to be a really hard headbutt, which it was. It sure looked like it was hard.
Yeah,
but,
it looked good.
It has to be dangerous hard. It did bleed a lot more than you would expect it to do if it was busted open the hard way like that. And the camera zoomed right in on his forehead immediately.
Yeah.
Which usually they don't do. I mean, if there's blood on TV, they're usually told, and they could have been told beforehand, just film it all, damn it, it's Vince, film it all. But usually they don't do that. Usually they try to get away from the blood and they don't really sell it. And when he's sitting there talking to Owens, if you go back and watch it, his forehead right around the spot that he's opened up looks a little discolored. It almost looks like, it's like paler. So it almost looks like they put makeup on him while he's sitting in a chair backstage. And then he comes out and he's doing the walk and he's in there and he's talking and he gets a little redder and redder. And then the makeup doesn't match his skin tone because he's a red guy when he's going.
Oh yeah.
Not
as red as leather.
I'm not saying that's what happened. No. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm saying that I buy that more than that it just accidentally happened the hard way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, once I like looked back on it, you could see that it was like straight lines in his forehead even.
Yeah, even my son pointed that out.
Yeah.
He was like, it's almost like a line, like it's coming out of a line. So, anyways, not that it's a bad thing. I like that. I'm glad they did it.
Yeah.
I think blood, when used sparingly, really helps a intense feud.
I'm not entirely sure whether or not I give Vince more or less props now than I did last week. He still gets props. I just,
You know what? He went out there and he performed better than anybody on Raw or SmackDown the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
You got to give the guy that. You know, we were just talking about how great of a performer the Brain is. Vince McMahon is a fucking hell of a performer. And you know, he told Owens, just give it to me.
Right, just do it.
And Owens just, I mean, you could see it in his eyes. He, even at the moment, he's debating back and forth. He's just like, fuck. Am I getting fired? You know, like, how hard do I hit him? He told me to go all out. How hard do I hit him?
That's why he didn't jump on him and like beat the shit out of him like he would a normal person. He let him get back to his feet every time. It wasn't even like Kevin Owens' gimmick, like, will I do it? Won't I do it? Will I do it? It's like, I really don't want to do this.
Exactly. Like,
I don't want to do this to you. Get up. I'm still wondering,
like, dude,
who the fuck is the
you're
suit?
Over 70.
Who the fuck is the suit?
Yeah, that weird bald guy that ran in there.
Yeah, like, actually, like, he had a point. Right. He jumped out of the way of Vince McMahon when Kevin Owens was going to do the splash. Like, you jump in front of your boss, you idiot.
Yeah, you take one for the team, you fucker.
And we'll never see him again because he was fired.
I did not recognize that guy.
No, so and he comes out like he's supposed to be in a role of authority.
What?
Yeah, and the announcer said nothing.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, usually they'll be like, oh, Jamie Noble came in, or, oh, you know, this guy's in there. Dean Malenko came in from the back or something. Yeah, there's nothing. Moving on. Ring of Honor. Historic and new programming from Ring of Honor. That's all they say. That's all you have to say. I'm extremely interested.
Yep, that's what I put.
Love Ring of Honor. If they could get the old shit from the 2002 and on, the new shit now, sold. Sold. I don't think they will, but I'm sold.
Sold!
WWE Director's Cut. This is the one you were talking about, huh?
Yes, sir.
Shows that put a new twist on classic content, such as WWE legends narrating historic pay-per-views or current WWE superstars providing their perspective and analysis of classic matches and events. I'm going to say extremely interested in this also. Going back and rewatching old matches, and this would just be a new way to experience them and maybe get some new stories.
Good, yeah. Hopefully they do it for every episode, but they probably won't.
What was yours?
What was my?
Like, what did you vote on that?
I think it was right around the middle, because to me it sounds cool, but it doesn't mean that much in the long run.
Yeah, and you're probably, I take you as not one that goes back and watches a lot of classic content a lot.
No, it's wrestling. You watch it once, you move on with your fucking life.
See, I do rewatch a lot of the classic stuff. So I would be very interested in that. Because I'm going to rewatch it anyways.
Right.
So you add a little new aspect to it. Rock on. Original scripted dramas. Wrestling-themed series. I can't even fucking read it without laughing. Let me try this, folks. Wrestling-themed series inspired by wrestling's colorful and rich history, such as a WWE version of Game of Thrones. Fucking not at all interested.
Extremely excited! No, I wasn't.
Shut up! You did not put...
No, I put not at all interested, too. That's fucking stupid.
Scripted drama. Oh my fucking god. You know what? I have
Total Divos.
I have Netflix. I have those things so I can watch scripted dramas.
Right.
And they're great scripted dramas with great actors. I don't want the WWE Network for scripted dramas. I have it for wrestling. TNA. Historic and new programming from TNA or Impact Wrestling or Global Force Wrestling or whatever the fuck they are today. It says that on there, right there. Or whatever the fuck they are today. I'm extremely interested. I don't see it happening unless they buy them out. And if they buy them out, I don't want them running it as a separate entity.
Right. Let
They
it
already got
die
NXT
and just
for that.
keep the archive.
Yeah. So I'm extremely interested in that. Again, go back to Ring of Honor. You give me 2002 TNA Wrestling. You give me low-key Elix Skipper, Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, the Alpha Male Monty Brown. You give me all of these guys. America's Most Wanted with Chris Harris and James Storm. Then you had Beer Money Inc.
Beer
later
Money.
on. You have Awesome Kong
Aces and
and
Eights.
Aces and Eights was much later, but yeah, any of that stuff. But yeah, especially the old classic stuff. One of these days I could even show it or take a picture of it. I don't know if it's sad or good or what, but I would say I have, if not equal amounts, I might have more TNA DVDs than WWE DVDs. It's close to equal amounts. Might be more WWE, but a lot of WWE are like the ones that span a wrestler's whole careers. Like I have a couple of Hulk Hogan's ones and Macho Man and, the rest, things like that. I got best of like Starrcade and best of ladder matches and stuff like that. So, but I have a ton of TNA DVDs because I love classic TNA. I loved it. What did you have for that?
I think it was like right down the middle. I figured I had to like not be excited about everything to make sure the things that I'm really excited about happen.
Right,
and
so
while I would really like to see it, but
out.
I'm like, out of everything that you've thrown at me already, like TNA, you can leave that over there if you really want to.
Fair enough. Special live events. Special one-time live events from unique locations around the world featuring an unexpected main event. Again, that's basically what they do already. That's kind of the same question as before about house shows. I mean, they've done the Beast from the East. They did... What was the other one they just did recently that had a Brock Lesnar one? What was it? Brock Lesnar versus
Kevin Owens.
Kingston or something? And
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens versus who?
No, Brock Lesnar versus Kevin Owens.
No, the last house show they did, it was Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston. I remember that.
Oh.
So it was definitely not a main event caliber match. And they had I don't remember what it was. Oh, was it a Madison Square Garden thing? I think it might have been a Madison Square Garden one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, that's beside the point. I guess I'm moderately interested in this.
Right. I don't like the fact that they're like offering us things they've already been doing.
Right? Would you pay more for something I already give you? Original scripted comedies. Comedies such as WWE Hosts, Southpaw Regional Wrestling, WWE's version of The Office.
Yes.
This one's hard because I love hosts and I love Southpaw Regional Wrestling, but I could see WWE doing like The Office or other stupid things like that, doing sitcoms. I don't want to see sitcoms.
No, just like
so
funny,
I'm
more stuff like Ride Along and shit. You know?
I'm gonna say very interested. Ride Along's not a scripted comedy though.
No.
That would be a unscripted comedy.
The Edge and Christian show that reeks of awesomeness.
I love Southpaw Regional Wrestling. Yeah, that is, like a sketch comedy show like that. So I'm going to go very interested. You scared me with that WWE Office, but I'm going to do that.
I'd watch that
where
too.
Where were you at that?
I was extremely interested. Especially when I passed on the drama stuff. I'm like, yeah, give me some comedy. That's what I like in wrestling anyway, At least when it's not wrestling.
WWE does that better, I think. Yeah. Tournaments. New in-ring tournaments, such as a Pro-Am style tournament. It could be WWE versus NXT. Interesting. a lucha tournament, a tag team tournament, King or Queen of the Ring tournament. So again, basically the exact same thing they're doing now. We had the Cruiserweight tournament, the Mae Young Classic, the UK tournament. They already do King of the Ring.
Sometimes.
In fact, I think the last one was a WWE Network special, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't the last King of the Ring a network special?
Yep.
It wasn't a pay-per-view.
No.
So I'm going to say I'm very interested, but it's something they already do, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, seeing more of it would be good, especially if they do like stuff where, you know, you bring in a different brand and pit him up against the best in the WWE in a tournament.
Right. You know, this tag team tournament, you already got the Dusty Classic.
Right.
I'd say you keep the Dusty Classic, but
yeah.
just you could include WWE and NXT guys, but I'd keep the Dusty Classic. What's the next step for them as far as they did the Cruiserweights, they did a UK.
They said they wanted to do a Mexico one. They wanted to do an India one. They wanted to do one in Japan.
I'm not big on them doing. I like them doing the region ones. I like, you know, get the best of one thing from all around the world and put them together. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, because the UK Championship, we really haven't seen much with that at all. Really, every now and then on NXT, maybe once on 205 Live.
In fact, it's kind of sad. My son watches a lot of wrestling. He doesn't watch a lot of NXT, but he watches Raw, SmackDown, the pay-per-views, and follows stuff a bit. He watches some of the classic stuff with me also. He was talking about belts that we like, championships that we liked. I think Mitchell just asked, what's my favorite looking championship? And I said, you know, I think I'm a big fan of the gold belt, but I like the Stone Cold Smoking Skull, IWGP. I was like, I think right now the best belt that they have that I like is probably the UK title. And he was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, the United Kingdom Championship. He said, what's that? I was like, you know, the UK Championship? He's like, I've never heard of it. So that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad that he had no idea that existed. And he's not a diehard wrestling fan, but he's above casual wrestling fan. You know what I mean? He watches it at least weekly. It catches all the pay-per-views. So that's pretty sad that he had no idea that there was a United Kingdom Championship. So I don't know. I don't know what would be the next step for that. Unless you opened up the tag teams, like I said, to tag teams that aren't signed to WWE. Maybe you do like a
hardcore
Classic,
tournament.
But don't do. Hey, if you're doing the TV 14, you could do that. If you're not doing TV 14, you probably shouldn't.
Just do it without blood. WWE does it all the time.
They do, and I wouldn't say they succeed at it. I'd just say they do it. So let's see. Okay, next. God, I thought that was the end.
Oh no, it's never over. You're not even halfway
so now
through.
It wants me to tell it how much I would spend
with a max cap of $10. So this is the hard part. You have to distribute your $10 over everything you just went over.
Oh, what? You get $10 total?
Yeah.
And how would you spend it? Okay, I see. So let's go with what I like the best first, and go with that. Let's see. This is riveting television, isn't it, folks?
Right.
Ring of Honor. Max of 10. I'm going to put 3 in Ring of Honor, 3 in TNA. God, no, man, if I do 3 in other promotions, it's already $9. Man, really?
It's the hardest thing ever.
I'm going to do 3 in Ring of Honor, TNA, 2 in other promotions, just because I don't think they'd ever get New Japan. Otherwise, I'd put more into it. Director's cut, I'll give $1 to. I'm at $9
I pay $1
now,
for
so I have
that.
one more $1 to give. RoboCop. I guess I'm gonna have to go with the either the scripted comedies or where's the one thing? Director's cut. Oh, I put a buck on director's cut already. Then yeah, then I'll put $1 in scripted comedies. Woo. That wasn't too difficult. 1 for scripted comedies, 3 for Ring of Honor, 3 for TNA, 2 for the promotions, and 1 for the director's cut. That wasn't too bad.
None for audio channel.
So we're going next. Fun. There's more now.
Yeah, you're not done yet.
WWE is considering a special feature that may be available to WWE Network as part of a premium price tier. Listed below are some potential new feature ideas. Please let us know if you are extremely interested, moderately interested, very, somewhat, not at all, or anything. So, ratings, the ability to rate shows. I don't do that with the things I got now, so no. Personalization, create custom playlists and change the look and feel of your network. I'm moderately interested in that. I like to customize my stuff to make it look like it's mine.
Yes.
Virtual reality. No, fuck you.
Nope. I passed
Alternate
on that
viewing
too.
options.
Passed on that.
The ability to watch in-ring using alternate camera choices. I actually don't mind this one. I'm somewhat interested. Gorilla cam, drone cam, GoPro cam. Yeah. Social sharing.
GoPro cam. So
play.
that means we're going to end up watching fucking wrestlers or referees in the ring wearing fucking GoPros on their heads. That makes me so angry.
I'm not interested in that.
It makes me so angry.
I'm not interested in it either. But I like the Gorilla Cam, and I like if you could switch between different camera angles and not have to use WWE's camera angle. I think that'd be neat.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all because WWE has it worked down to a science how to change camera angles at the impact of things. So if you're looking through these camera angles, you're really going to ruin the show for yourself. If you see it from just a slightly different angle.
That are doing that are people like they're people like me that enjoy the art form of it. Your casual fan isn't ever going to use that. But it'd be somebody like me that enjoys the art form, that maybe wants to see this here. How did he do that there? What did he actually do there? You know, did you see how he landed here? Stuff like that. I'm somewhat interested.
See, after the first section, I started thinking, filling this section out, like started thinking ahead to like, what am I going to put my $1 into? And that's how I started rating kind of what I wanted to see in this section.
They're not going to ask you to put $1 into this shit, are they?
It's every section.
Viewing. Set up movie theater mode to watch virtually with friends or participate in live
extremely
events.
interesting.
This would be good for you and I.
I definitely think I put more money into this than I did anything else.
Alternate audio is the same thing that we talked about before, but I'm interested in that. Download to go, the ability to download content and watch offline. I'm pretty sure that already exists, but maybe it does.
No, not on the network, and I wasn't very interested. I don't want to sit and watch the network when I'm out and about.
Something that bad.
Right.
Yeah, I don't need it that bad that I need to literally download it. Download 0, personalize 0.
If you want to download wrestling, you got to do it the old school way.
3, no ratings. Social viewing. I'm willing to drop $4 on social viewing.
Yeah.
Alternate viewing options. What am I at right now? I'm at $8. So personalize, I'll put $1 into. Alternate audio 3. Ratings 0. Download 0. Social viewing 4. Social sharing 0. Alternate viewing 1. So I still got $1 to spend. I'll put 2 on alternate viewing. Then. That's my $10. Oh my gosh, there's more. All right, folks, bear with us. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope it's more fun for y'all than it is for me. But the first part was really entertaining. This part, WWE is also considering special benefits with perks that would be offered as part of the WWE Network premium price tier. Listed below are some potential new ideas for subscriber perks. Let us know. Monthly WWE headquarter conference call. Not interested. Preferred pricing. Special offers for WWE VIP events and products, including meet and greets. I'm interested in that. I'm going to say moderately.
Yeah, I was
I don't know
slightly
how often I'd
interested.
get to use it, but if I got to use it, free shipping on www.shop.com orders. I don't do it a lot, but I'd say moderately. If I'm already paying extra, I wouldn't
Right.
mind getting free shipping out of it.
That scared me though, because Amazon Prime gets you for $100 for their streaming service plus free shipping for the year. It's $100 for a year. I mean, you can pay. I don't want to see the WWE Network go to that unless you are making. I guess maybe if you're doing a 1-year payment, but I doubt they do that.
Loyalty program. Get rewards such as t-shirts, collectibles, and ticket upgrades using loyalty points earned from the length of time you have been a WWE Network Premium subscriber or your time spent viewing. I am extremely interested in that. That would be neat to get rewarded for watching their stuff.
I would never get anything for how often my network shut off.
Fan voting. Special opportunities to vote on match participants, Hall of Fame inductees, Slammies. Somewhat interested, although I don't think they'd listen to us anyways.
Right.
Get breaking news first. I'll say somewhat interested. You can get it everywhere anyways, so I don't know that I need WWE for it. Plus, they're going to put their spin on it right away.
Yeah.
Early access to live event tickets. Moderately interested. Again, I don't get to use it a lot, but I would use it. Early access to new merchandise. I'm not that interested. I don't need to get the newest thing right away.
I actually think I said I was not at all interested.
That's what I got is not at all. Sweepstakes entries, automatic sweepstakes entries, not at all. I could give a crap less about sweepstakes.
Yeah, but that VIP, like how long you've been with the subscription service, that one was the most exciting, I think, of the whole section. And I mean, yeah, there's a fair share of duds on this list, but there's a lot of things on this in this survey that made my mind go ape shit. Like, holy shit. But then it makes you question how much are they really going to hike the price?
Yeah, but you got to remember. Well, and you got to remember they've been doing these surveys for years, since before WWE Network started it. So, and a lot of these things are the same questions that they ask every time. So you don't want to get too excited. Loyalty program. I'll easily put $5 into that. I'm gonna put $6 into that. What else was there?
Not much.
Sweepstakes, loyalty, fan voting, preferred pricing. I'll put $3 into. Early access. I'll put $2 into, and I think that's my 10. There we go. What? What does it say? Why are they all lit up? Your current total of 11. Okay, well then early access down to 1. You said it was 10. Now it says 11. Thank you for completing this survey. There you go. That is the WWE Network survey. If you folks didn't get one, now you know at least what's offered. What they're looking into. Like I said, I mean, you hope that they're listening to you. You hope that they're taking this stuff and writing it down and using it to form the future work. I guess remember that at the same time, it might be nothing.
Right.
You never know. They could be doing these things just as red herrings. I mean, it doesn't cost them anything to put out just to make people think that they care about what you're doing. And they don't even look at them. It just goes straight into the garbage bin in the WWE headquarters master computer. Who knows? Just
even
kind of
still, there's a lot of stuff in here that just makes the mind race. Like, holy shit. The things they could do if they actually wanted to, you know?
There's a lot of things I'd be interested in. Very much so. So here's hoping we get some positive changes. I'll drink to that.
Yes.
I'm very glad that you informed me about this, Paystee, because it did go straight to my promotions bin in my email, and I usually just go in there just to hit delete.
Oh, yeah.
I usually don't read anything that's in my promotions folder, so it just went straight to my promotions folder. So when you were talking about it, and actually it wasn't there when you first told me about it, and then later on it popped up. And I was like, hey, he was just talking about this.
Woo-hoo! No, it's good stuff. And I mean, if any of this stuff happens, it would be pretty cool. With our luck, it'll be WWE Game of Thrones. That'll be the one thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know about any of this stuff. There's some things I don't want to see. Game of Thrones and now WWE is all just GoPro cameras.
Right.
Shut up! Bitches be tripping.
Right? Right! All right. Well, we've got just about 25 minutes left.
Just about. Just
Just
about enough time to hit up No Mercy, Lope.
Yes. No mercy.
I put little to no thought into this so far, so
yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I'm like, oh, it's time for No Mercy already. Man, it's not Hell in a Cell yet. That's where I was at.
Yeah, I could play. I'm just glad I thought about it.
I guess I'm kind of excited to see Cena
going.
versus Roman.
That better be good.
And Strowman, Strowman destroyed Brock Lesnar on Monday Night Raw.
He did. He completely no-sold the German, which was awesome.
It was
just
great.
Bounced straight up after the German. And then he hit his power slam, and Brock was down. It was very, very good.
They should have saved it for Mania.
Um,
That's what this card is going to be subtitled 10 years in the future.
Yeah, then you can't have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar if you do that, and then you can't have Reigns beat the conquering hero.
I don't want Reigns to fight Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He's done it before.
Yes, but it's what Vince wants. Never one-on-one. They've never had a one-on-one match at Mania. And it's what Vince wants. And Vince wants him to be the one to beat Lesnar. And you know what? There's better people to do it, but it's something. I mean, at least it's Lesnar giving a young guy the rub. May not be the young guy we want, but hey, that's something. We haven't got any real good payoff from Brock Lesnar as fans. We've got some really entertaining matches, but as far as like him giving rub to up and coming or younger or newer superstars, he hasn't really. He's kind of, I think Owens might be the only one that you can say looked good against him. But otherwise, the only other people that have beat him was Undertaker and Goldberg. And neither of those guys are young up-and-coming stars. Brock is younger and more up-and-coming than they are.
And this card is kind of light for a pay-per-view these days. It's only got
a few more in there.
8 matches listed so far.
7, at least official.
Oh, 7. You're right.
What do you got?
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
What are you looking at? Out of curiosity.
CBSSport.com.
Okay, I'm on WWE.com. So.
Okay.
So we're probably in different orders. So I mean, we can take it in any order you want to go. Then I'd just say let's save the main events for the end. So we know there's 2 main events.
Well, yeah. No, this one seems like it's pretty well ordered from what would be a pre-show to the end. So I think we should be
a copy of the WWE one.
So I don't think so, but we'll see. They should be similar.
Go for it. Where
All
do we
right.
at?
So looking at probably the pre-show, the Cruiserweight Championship is being defended. Neville versus Enzo Amore, which is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
That's really all I have to say.
This match makes my cock SWFT soft.
Soft!
Definitely don't have a hard on for this one. I would hope you have to go Neville going over on Enzo. I can see them trying to give Enzo the rub. And, I mean, if he's turning heel, which he may do, and he may turn heel and he may realign with Big Cass. I know that's talk that's the route they're going to go. He could do something nefarious to do it. Even if he does, he doesn't have to do it at this one. They can always have a rematch. So I'm going to say Neville goes over.
Yeah.
Retains the championship.
Yeah, I'm right there too. And then what I would assume was opening match for the card, Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. And CBSSport.com says, and I quote, "Thought this was over? Apparently not."
And isn't this being billed as like man versus man? So Balor's not allowed to be the demon, right?
Right, but he wouldn't be anyway because it's not a big 4 or a big 2.
So it's the match. This match is basically who's WWE trying to give up on quicker.
Right.
Who won the last one? Was it Finn Balor?
Yes.
Fuck, I don't remember.
Yes.
I honestly don't remember.
I think so.
I think Wyatt deserves a win. I think it should be over. I think this should be the last one.
It's going to go till Mania. I almost guarantee it. They don't know what else to do with both of them.
I know that there was talk. There was chitter-chatter on the intro nets about this maybe getting moved into a Hell in a Cell. Or into a cage match, I should say. But I don't think so.
No, I think if they could find a good way to tastefully stretch this out to Mania, save the Hell in a Cell for Mania.
I don't think it needs to go till Mania, but I think it could go until God, I don't know what's the Royal Rumble. I don't even think it needs to go that long. I'm gonna say
what if
Bray
it doesn't
Wyatt
go?
wins.
What if it stops and it starts back up again at Mania season? Like they just bump into each other, and it could be because if they both last a long time in the WWE, they're gonna be rivals forever because they're gimmicks.
I'm over it at this point. It could get better, and they can do something with this. I'm not buying it right now, but I'm gonna say Bray Wyatt wins. I don't have any idea what's going on in the future with them, but I'll say Bray Wyatt wins.
Yeah, I'll go with Bray. I don't know, but
hey, Luke Harper is supposed to be coming back with a new gimmick. I wonder if
I heard Harper and Rowan are both coming back with new gimmicks.
Yeah, I heard they're coming back together also, which we don't need Rowan anymore. They could come back and they could interfere on Wyatt's behalf. I don't want him to.
No. Get him away from him. I want to see Luke Harper come back with a shaved face and short hair.
It isn't gonna hurt any of those three any worse than they are now. None of them have been better than when they were all three together. I know when they were all three together, we kept saying you gotta break them up, and that way Bray will get big and Luke will get big, and nobody cares about Rowan. But all of them have done shit since they've broken up.
Nobody's cared about anybody.
They basically need each other.
I'd
be at least
if you're gonna put them back together, don't split them up again.
And put them together and bring in Bo Dallas. Have them do a match where it's like a 3-on-3, the Wyatt family versus the Miz Taraj. And during that match, Bo Dallas turns on the Miz, and then he joins the Wyatt family. And then a couple weeks later, they can kick out Rowan. That's always fun to do.
Yeah.
I want to build to that, but what do I know?
I guess if you got the Wyatt family back together, it could force the Shield to fully get back together.
Right? At least temporarily. At least for a one-off or something.
Yeah.
Or a two-off.
I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. I said Bray.
Who'd you pick?
Bray. Okay. Bray. And up next, the Intercontinental Championship.
We're on the same wavelength now, huh?
Yes. The IC Championship, The Miz versus Jason and Jordan Angle.
If they're gonna stretch this Jason Jordan Kurt Angle thing out to Mania, I think Jason Jordan beats The Miz for the title, and then that leaves Miz open to feud with the newly reformed Whyt family. But then that also allows Jason Jordan to lose the title close to Mania-ish, and then and turn on Kurt Angle, and then they can have their match at Mania.
There you go.
So I'm gonna say Jason Jordan wins it here. Why not?
I don't know, man. The Miz is nearing the longest IC title run in history, and I think he's probably gonna get it. WWE's handing him out these days. Asuka's got the longest winning streak. New Day is gonna hold the most tag team titles. They're just dishing them out.
Jinder's gonna beat fucking CM Punk's reign. I do think that Jason Jordan is not ready for the IC title, but that's never stopped WWE before. I think if he could have Kurt as his mouthpiece, maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. We will see. I think the Miz takes it. It should be a decent match.
So the first one, we're different on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on a second. We never remember who we pick. I want to start writing them down.
Oh, yeah.
We had the Cruiserweight, which was, we both think Enzo's going to lose. So Neville.
You do that, and I'm going to the next match. The Tag Team Championship. The Shia, without the old, versus the Bar. The Shia versus the Bar. Man, this just sounds sad, but it's going to be a good fight.
I think so. I think it's going to be a great one. The Bar has evolved into this amazing tag team that you love to watch.
They put the Hardys in their place and wouldn't let them get out of it.
No shit.
Now they don't even wrestle as a tag team anymore. They're singles hunting. The Bar kicked the Hardys out of the tag team division.
Right. Splendid.
Personally here, I feel like the Bar is probably going to take it. Why are Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins a tag team? Other than the fact that there's nothing else for them to do right now.
I'm gonna say, and just because I'm gonna say this, just because they've been hot potatoing the title over on SmackDown, that they're gonna try to have a little bit of a continuity here on Raw, and I'm gonna say that Rollins and Ambrose retain. This is a hard one. It could go either way. I think Cesaro and Sheamus can do more with it.
Yeah.
But I think it's I don't know what Seth and Dean are gonna do.
Speaking of hot potatoing the tag team championships on SmackDown, I just want to make my thoughts known here. And I think that since WWE, or that the information was leaked that they were trying to push the New Day to have the title the most times in history, they've really been rushing it way too fast for it to matter at all. If every other night they're going to lose and win the titles, there's no fucking point. That makes me angry.
Yeah, so and we've seen the same thing with Sasha and Charlotte. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and Charlotte is she's gonna be a 17-time women's champion, but it's gonna be, well, I mean, look at, we just talked about, I think it was last week, Sasha's title reigns, her 4 title reigns all add up to less than 100 days. So who the fuck cares that she has 4 title reigns?
Right, it means nothing. And it's
same with Charlotte too. Hers are a little longer, just because she waited till after each pay-per-view to lose them. But yeah, it's pointless. I think it's pointless. I agree with you, although I am 100% okay with the New Day having the title.
Oh, yeah.
As much as I was not ready for them to get them back and have a lengthy title reign, I'm ready for them to hold them another, 100 plus, 200 plus days already. I'm okay with them holding them. And you know what? if they're going to hot potato the title, but we're going to continue to see the quality matches that we've been seeing between these two, fucking do it. It's the price I'm willing to pay to see some good wrestling on TV right now. Because WWE isn't giving us a lot of it, but damn if these New Day Uso matches ain't winning me over left and right.
Yeah, although they're good fucking matches. I do have this thought in the back of my head that just keeps saying, though, in order to hold the titles more times than any other tag team, you have to have lost the titles more times than any other tag team. Doesn't that kind of like make the whole thing neutral and not matter at all?
Well, that's like, actually, I think this is a classic Bobby the Brain poll. You know what he said, that somebody is 5-time world champion. That means you're a 4-time loser, he would say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. It's very true. If you're, you look at somebody like Bruno Sammartino, who held the belt twice, but was literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of days. Yes, this is apples and oranges, I know.
Right.
Because there wasn't multi-weekly TV, there wasn't pay-per-view. I get it. But nonetheless, you look at something like that, it's a bigger impact than somebody like Sheamus, who I think is he like a 3-4 time champion at this point?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't look at Sheamus in the same vein as even like a Stone Cold or a Rock or a Cena or something.
Right.
I mean, I guess to me that's, I don't know. I know what I'm trying to say. I don't know if I'm eloquently putting it out there, but I know what I'm trying to say.
It all depends on your character, really.
Well,
up next,
I guess yes, just because whether you have the belt or not basically depends on your character.
Right.
Do the fans like your character? Does the front office like your character?
Yeah.
Did we haven't picked anybody? Neither one of us.
I said shame. I said Bar.
Yeah.
You said
you picked Bar and I picked
Jesus. Get with the times, guy.
I picked Bar. Got it. I'm not, man. I'm not at all. Go ahead.
Up next, the Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax versus Emma versus Bayley.
Who gives a fuck?
Nia Jax is going to win it. Nia Jax as a star outside of WWE, she's been doing a lot of things lately. She's definitely getting more known, and I think WWE is really going to want to push her right now. And since there's so many people in the match, I want to say my B-side winner is Alexa Bliss.
I mean, the story is definitely Alexa and Nia. The story is definitely Alexa and Nia. Nobody gives a shit about Emma.
I feel like in the beginning it's going to be Alexa and Sasha. Or Alexa and Nia and Sasha and Bayley all beating up Emma. And then they'll turn on each other after Emma's out of the fucking match.
It definitely comes down to Alexa and Nia. You have that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with... you know what? I'm going to put confidence in Miss Bliss. I'm going to stick with Alexa. I'll go with that. It's almost a coin flip.
Yeah. Well, it's actually a roll of a dice, to be completely honest.
And either one of those, no, it's not to me. To me, it's a coin flip. It's either Alexa or Nia. That's the story being told, and that's what I want to see out. Whether either one of them wins, I want that story to continue.
Oh yeah, and it will. That's why I say it's a roll of the dice. You never know.
With it being actually, you know what? I am gonna change. I'm gonna change my mind. Just a 5-way, and Nia can pin Emma.
Right.
And win the championship, and Alexa will have a good heel argument for she didn't beat me, which I love.
Of course, with the way WWE writes things.
I think.
we'll probably have Nia Jax about to pin Emma, and then Alexa comes in and says, "No, let me pin her," and then Nia stands down.
I hope not, but yeah. I don't know. They've been booking monsters decent lately. Nia was doing good, and then she fell off, but it looks like they're treating her good again. So, yeah, I think we can go Nia Jax. Definitely.
I did see something somebody pointed out, and that's in the new poster for the new season of Total Divas. Nia Jax was photoshopped to be the same size as everybody else.
Like, you talking waist-wise or height-wise?
Height-wise.
Okay. You don't know with WWE, man. They'll fucking Photoshop hair on Baron Corbin.
Right. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Up next, everybody's favorite guys. John Cena versus Ramen Stains. Still love me some Roman. I think this is going to be a good match.
Yeah. I think it will be. A lot of people are shitting on it, but I think it's going to be a great match.
Cena's going to be recording a Transformers movie soon, so I think Roman's going to beat him.
There's going to be a lot of false finishes in here.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah. Hundreds. For sure. Thousands.
I agree with you for two reasons. One, Cena is going away to film his own Star Wars or Transformers. God. I don't know if it's my
John
gut
Cena
or if
plays
it's the beer, if it's my
John
head,
Cena plays Darth Vader in the Star Wars Darth Vader standalone movie.
God, doesn't that look like a good movie?
Yes.
The Darth Vader movie, just from the teaser.
Well, you have to watch. You gotta watch Rogue One.
I did. I watched it, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
A lot of problems. A lot of problems with it, but I enjoyed it.
My favorite part was the droid, and my least favorite part was Forrest Whitaker. But he died.
Forrest Whitaker was just phoning it in, man.
He was
did not
the
give a shit. He was there for the paycheck.
Right. Like, holy shit. He does not give fucks about Star Wars at all. No fucks given from Forrest Whitaker.
Vader was badass. This is the best Vader we've ever got. When he was walking down that hall for the first time, and he's just like, jin, 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 you know, barely even breaking a sweat, and then he just starts throwing people left and right. It's just, fuck, man. I loved this Vader.
Yeah. Yeah, in the original trilogy, his movements and things were powerful, but they were very minimal. He didn't do a lot of active shit. So yeah, no, I definitely think the Vader standalone movie is gonna be.
Yeah. I didn't mind Rogue One. I think probably because I had such low expectations going into it, because it does have a lot of problems. Its first being it again is the exact same story. It's the Luke story. It's the Rey story. They haven't changed their story of an orphan being abandoned on a desert planet and then being reluctantly brought into the rebellion.
I don't think that's
to overcome.
I think it has a lot to do with the subject matter. It's Star Wars. And when there's a lot of wars, there's going to be a lot of orphans and refugees.
I think it has to do with lazy writing.
I don't know.
Comfortable writing. It's WWE. They're just doing what they know has worked in the past.
Yeah,
Let's not try something new and exciting. Let's just do what we know has worked in the past. We got this droid. They've always had the droid sidekick, which is
This is the best droid ever, though. I loved him so much.
He seemed like C-3PO with an actual personality. I was okay with it. BB-8's better.
No.
I'll just say it.
No.
I'll just say it. BB-8 had attitude, man. I don't know, man. I marked out when he thumbs up. Thumbs up? Thumbs up? Thumb it up?
Thumbs up?
Thumbed ups?
How about thumbs
did I mark?
Dupst?
Thumbs dupst. John Cena, Roman Reigns. Yeah, so he's going on to do the new Vader solo standalone. and with Roman Reigns going on to face Brock Lesnar at Mania, you have to make him look strong. You have to keep making him look strong. They've been burying him on the mic, so he at least has to be strong
in
the ring. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. So I think he wins it. I think Roman wins it, and that's okay. It's okay. He needs a win because he's been getting pwned each and every week in the ring.
I mean, I could see Cena to win it, and then maybe like Reigns wins the next pay-per-view, and then they hold it off for somewhere down the line for a third match.
I think the only way that works is if they do a schmozz finish. I don't think you can have Cena win and then Cena rematch. I think it would have to be some kind of cluster flunk deal, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're both on the same page with Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm. And finally, the Universal Championship. Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman.
I know my pick. I think I've already spelled it out multiple times already tonight.
After watching Raw, I definitely don't hold hopes for Brock Lesnar. He got nothing off but that German suplex.
Don't hold hopes for him?
No.
Braun has been too strong going into this. There's no way Braun's winning.
I think Braun's going to run through him.
They've had Lesnar at the bad side of a beating every time they've had them two together. So
but no, I say
booking says he has to win.
I think Strowman wins, and I think Brock goes away for a while and comes back just before Mania to win back the title. When Roman Reigns is already gearing up to fight Braun for the title, but Brock gets it back, and he's like, okay. But I think Brock's going to go away for a matter of 3 months and come back bigger and in better shape than before. And I think that's what he needs to do to beat Braun. That's where my mentality is going.
I'm okay with that, especially since they built him up to be this beast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with Braun being the guy who gets the rub for B. Leonard, like we were talking about. You gotta understand this. Braun Strowman admittedly had like 5 professional wrestling matches before he got put on Raw. Mm-hmm. 5 fucking matches. That's it. That's less than Roman Reigns. That's less than dumb fuck McGivens. 5 matches. When you look at his psychology in the ring right now, the way he moves, his stamina, his physical, everything. This guy is not Kurt Angle. This guy is not AJ Styles. This guy is not Kazuchika Okada.
But I believe he's the most impressive. The most impressive big man
right now. He's above. I would easily say he's above your Aiden English. He's above your who did they got right now? He's above your Enzo Amore. He's above your Big Cass.
Yeah.
He's above. I'd say he's above all these guys, and he's still new. If this guy doesn't win like most improved wrestler of the year awards,
right?
Which, by the way, at the end of the year we got to do our own beef stick awards, man. Everybody else does this shit. We have to. But yeah, this guy. I mean, I am okay with him winning this title. He has worked his ass off to not become another Roman Reigns, to not become another Jinder Mahal, to not become another, you're big, we're going to throw you in here, you don't have to do anything.
Right.
He did the Paul Whyt thing. For those of you who don't know, Paul Whyt is the Big Show or the Giant or whatever. I mean, that guy worked his ass off. And he was brand new too. He got thrown in with little training. And the guy, when he first came in, I didn't give a shit about Braun. I didn't want Braun. He was a big guy that got put in there because he's big. He had no reason to be there, which are all legitimate. That's all true. But he proved me wrong. Fucking proved me wrong beyond a shadow of a doubt.
No, it's my thought that Braun could actually go down in history as the greatest big guy ever in the WWE.
He could. He definitely. I mean, he's got a good start. I mean, he's a fucking child yet. What is he, like 24?
Right.
He's a fucking child.
Yeah.
His best years are well ahead of him. He's got another decade before he hits his prime.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's going to be main eventing WrestleManias, and in short time. Yeah, I think so. Fuck yeah.
And the way I look at it,
I'm okay with it.
Braun Strowman as the Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar can go anywhere and do whatever he wants. It makes no difference. Strowman will carry that shit.
And this might sound weird, but somebody, well, your scenario is Brock wins it back from him and then faces Reigns, which you could do. But I could also see somebody smaller, like an AJ Styles, like a Kevin Owens, like even a Seth Rollins. I could see them. They seem more believable beating Braun than Brock.
Yeah.
Even though Braun can beat Brock, I guess.
Because they're younger,
sense,
and Kevin Owens.
That's how I see it.
Kevin Owens, for a larger gentleman, is definitely agile in the ring.
Yeah.
Brock's getting up there. I was just talking about that with my grandpa too. Cena, Brock, they're all in their 40s.
Yeah. Oh yeah. AJ Styles is 42.
Yeah,
I believe.
Mm-hmm. And I think Brock is probably pushing the far end of 40s, 48-ish is what I'd have to guess.
No.
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 He's got to be. He's got to be about AJ's age. He's got to be early 40s. But I was just listening to a podcast recently where they were talking about. Can you imagine back in the early 90s?
Okay, he's 40, just 40 flat.
See, yeah,
he's as old as John Cena.
But you look at 93 Hulk Hogan. Everybody was saying Hogan's too old. We don't want Hogan. Right. Hogan's too old. He's past his prime. In 93, Hogan was 42. He's the same age as AJ Styles. He's only 2 years older than Cena, 2 years older than Brock. I mean, I guess the industry has just changed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That used to be an old man. Obviously, Hogan had many years ahead of him. Now, don't get me wrong. He did get past his prime and keep going. Well, you could say for another decade he performed very well. Rock and Hogan was 2001. God, was it 2001? I think Rock Hogan was 2001, and Hogan looked good. Looked fucking great. He kept up with Rock. He held his own with Rock.
Fun fact there, The Rock is 45 years old.
I believe it. Them Samoans, they keep a young look.
Even fun fact, Vin Diesel is 50 years old.
Vin Diesel.
Nothing to do with wrestling. Something to do with The Rock. I can't believe he's 50. That's insane.
I like Knockaround Guys. I don't know if anybody's seen that movie. That might be my favorite movie that Vin Diesel in. Either that or, I like the Chronicles of Riddick. I like both of those.
Oh yeah. Riddick was a good series.
But Knockaround Guys is good. It's kind of like it's a dramedy. It's a dramatic comedy. It's about the sons of gangsters who are trying to make moves on their own, but just get themselves in way too over their head. It's funny. It's a funny movie. Check it out sometime, folks. Knockaround Guys. Oh, that's No Mercy right there.
Yeah.
So I went Lesnar, you went Strowman. So if I got this right, let me go back down the card. Cruiserweight title, we both have Neville beating Enzo Amore, correct?
Yes.
The Eater of Pins versus the Demon King. We have both having the Eater of Pins not eating a pin and actually winning, right?
Which means he probably will eat a pin. It's usually when we're behind him, he loses the hardest.
I know, right? Isn't that fucking sad? So we both got Wyatt. Jason Jordan versus The Miz, Intercontinental title. I have Jordan, you have The Miz.
Mm-hmm.
The Shia versus The Bar. I have the Shia, and you have The Bar.
I got The Bar. I got bars, son.
Women's title match. We both have Nia Jax coming out ahead on that.
Yeah.
Roman versus Cena. We both have Roman coming out ahead on that.
Yep. Wouldn't have thought I'd say that a year ago.
And the WWE title match. I have Brock and you have Braun.
Yep.
Oh, fuck. I wrote down Brock, Mack. That means that I vote for Brock. And I wrote down everything else I wrote, or Ms. Paystee, but here I wrote Braun Strowman. Not Braun Strowman, Braun Paystee. There we go. Brock, Mack, Braun Strowman. My fingers were not following my mind.
And folks, that brings us down to the moment everybody waits for every single week on the B-Sticks podcast. And that is the Jerry of the Week.
You know, we all have a little Jerry in us somewhere, you know. So we like to see other people be the Jerry. So it reminds us that, there's worse Jerrys than us out there.
Oh, boy. So this week's Jerry, once again, goes to an entire organization.
Just sad.
This might be the all-time champion Jerry of the Week so far. What do you think?
This might, if we have a Jerry Royal Rumble at the end of the year and put all the Jerrys in a ring and see which one comes out ahead.
We'd have to call it a Jerry Brie.
The Jerry cake. The Jerry Brie, I love it. Oh, Paystee, you're a marketing god. Yeah. So, folks, Jerry of the Week is Global Force Wrestling.
GFW!
The entire promotion. From whoever wrote the shit to whoever edited it together.
Whoever
okayed
it.
The announcers that fucking read it, to whoever fucking okayed it, to whoever came up with the idea in the first
I feel like the announcers
place.
who read it are going to hell. Just guaranteed ticket to hell. You're fucked.
So what happened in GFW this week? So we know that Bobby Roode has been off TV after losing the NXT championship, and then he's going to be coming to the main roster pretty soon. And we all know
where
that
he's
Bobby
already
Roode
been
is a TNA original. He was there on the first card, the first show. He's been there forever. He's a mainstay. He was part of Team Canada. He was part of Beer Money Inc. He's a former multi-time heavyweight champion. He's the longest reigning TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He's I think he's a Grand Slam champion, winning the King of the Mountain title, or Legends title, or TV title, whichever one it was called the time he had it. As well as the tag and the world. But he hasn't been there for quite a while. He's been working NXT for years. So this week, with him being off TV on WWE, GFW spliced in a 2-year-old clip
Ridiculous.
of Bobby Roode at Impact coming down, and the announcers are stating the former NXT World Champion has left NXT to come over to GFW and blah, blah, blah. I mean, they kind of, the way they word it, I think they word it enough to where it doesn't sound like he left the company
right
and is staying here, but they make it sound like he's currently in WWE and he's making an appearance at GFW. They're just overhyping the fact that they have the former NXT World Champion here today. So they're selling it as if Bobby Roode showed up there while he's gone from NXT and before he's going to the main roster to be on GFW. And I don't remember, did he wrestle EC3 or what did he? I don't even remember. Didn't I send you the clip?
No.
Did I send you the clip or
no?
No, I didn't.
No, I just caught a little short something. I didn't really catch too terribly much about it, but I did watch at least a short end of the clip.
Yeah, so it's just sad. It's fucking pathetic. It's Jerry.
Yeah. Jerry to the core. Holy shit.
And I would say it's somewhat illegal, but it's not. They own the rights to that footage.
Yeah.
and they have the right with freedom of speech to say anything over top of it, possibly that gets into a gray area there.
Right.
Are they trying to profit off of WWE's talent and WWE's name? See, this is, and I hate to say it because I'm against what WWE has done and sometimes does do. Excuse me. But this is one of the key reasons that a lot of times WWE wants people to change their names. Because if WWE changed his name to Booby Rude, they couldn't go on there and say Booby Rude is here. Now, they still could show the same clip and say former NXT champion Bobby Roode, who you may know as Booby Rude in WWE, or not even say that because we all know who he is. So they could still get around it. So it's not a big deal. But oh my god. But fucking it embarrasses the fact that it embarrasses me because I stood behind TNA Impact Wrestling for so long. And even GFW, I just said, let's give it a chance. I said, let's give it a chance. And they've already lost me even before this. But this right here, you know, if they have an amazing match, I will go find it on YouTube or somewhere else and I'll watch it. But I am not supporting them unless something major changes, because they've lost my respect.
Yeah, no, I think this is the bottom of the barrel. I don't know how much further they could drop, to be completely honest.
Is like,
we'll probably find out.
The only thing worse than this was Victory Road 2011, which anybody who knows TNA knows that was the night that Jeff Hardy came out to face Sting. And he was so fucked up on drugs, he could barely walk down the ramp. He fell walking up the steel steps and was just fucked up. And that is probably more of a disgrace than this, because they put people's lives at risk. You can't let a wrestler perform in that condition. So the fact that they would allow, the fact that they made a conscious choice to put that on TV, they just look bad. Even if he didn't hurt anybody, it just looks bad.
Right.
And B, they easily, somebody could have been hurt, somebody could have been killed. Sting, Jeff, the referee. So that's probably a little worse than this. But this is right there with it. Right there fucking with it. As just pathetic and stupid.
That's how you want to represent yourselves.
Yeah, nobody decided to axe this, like, out of
I'm gonna laugh when next week they come out and like somebody who passed away 7 years ago shows up on GFW.
Right? They're gonna show an old clip of the Macho Man in TNA. Randy Savage, former dead man, returns just to get his ooh yeah to GFW. Fuck. Dig it! Stop my joint! That would definitely be a freak out moment.
Oh shit. Alright, folks. I think that about wraps it up for the B6 podcast.
Thank you for half a year of your time and your life, for giving us half a year. We love you for that. We love you. We love you. We love you.
Thank you. And to many more half years to come. Maybe even years.
Many more half years, full years, quarter of years, decades, centuries. Who knows?
Should we start celebrating every month like new couples in high school?
Right? It's our 3-week anniversary. No, let's not.
Okay. Because we do that every week anyway, since one episode a week. It's our 26th week.
Woo!
We didn't get to talk about Rick and Morty this week. We will have to come at you guys next week.
We might have to put aside wrestling for a week to catch up on Rick and Morty, man.
Yeah, we are kind of behind, aren't we? Shit. And speaking of shit, I've got to. So that being said, my name is
I'm right behind you,
Whyt.
I'm Fat Mack.
Thank you for all the time and all the love and all the listens. Feels great to know that we can be a part of your weekly lifestyle.
I love you like a lovesick puppy.
And I love you even more. Until next week, my name is sometimes Paystee Whyt. And my name, sometime in the future, might be Jarfunkel Shishist. But that's another topic for another day.
All right, Garfield fascist.
Shit.
We out.
We out. Good night, folks.